Is it on?
I'll do the introducing. This is Tom.
Hello. It's wonderful to be back. It's been a couple of crazy years, you know, and so it's nice to be back and actually seeing people in person again. We're going to turn the bass down on that just a little bit. I'm trying out a new system. Things I like to do is I always like to start out with a program with what I call campfire songs. Songs that, I don't know, maybe you got them from your grandma, maybe you got them from your third grade teacher, somebody like that. Songs like this. In a cabin, in a canyon, excavating for mine, lived a miner, 49er, and his daughter Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Of course, the point of sing-alongs is to sing along. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry. That's where I like it. And she was like a feather, and the shoes were number 9. Carrying boxes with the topses, sandals weren't for Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Drove she ducklings to the water every morning right at 9. Hit her foot against a splinter, fell into the foamy brine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You were lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Ruby lips above the water, blowing bubbles soft and fine. But alas, I was no swimmer, so I lost my Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Then that miner, 49er, soon began to peak and pine. So he thought he'd join his daughter, now he's with his Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You were lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. It's a great song, but if you listen to the lyrics, it's kind of depressing, you know? We're only 4 verses in, and already there's nobody left except the ducks. So a few years ago, I got on the internet and I found the Boy Scout songbook in 1955. And I got some verses that were a little lighter. Now you Boy Scouts, take my warning from this little song of mine. Artificial respiration might have saved your Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Oh, yeah. How I missed her, how I missed her, how I missed my Clementine. Oh, then I kissed her little sister and forgot my Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You were lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry. One more time. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You were lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. You were lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. You were lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry Clementine. Thank you. Now I can do a campfire song that's got a beat to it. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain. She'll be coming round the mountain. Coming round that mountain when she comes. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be riding 6 white horses, driving 6 white horses, driving 6 white horses when she comes. 'Cause she'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around that mountain, coming round the mountain, coming around that mountain when she comes. And we'll all go out and meet her when she comes. Yeah, we'll all go out and meet her when she comes. We'll all go out and meet her. We will all go out to greet her. We will all go out to meet her when she comes. 'Cause she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around that mountain, coming around the mountain, coming around that mountain when she comes. And we'll kill that old red rooster when she comes. Yeah, we'll kill the old red rooster when she comes. We'll kill that old red rooster, you know, just like we used to. Kill the old red rooster when she comes. 'Cause she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around that mountain, coming around the mountain, coming around that mountain when she comes. Oh, well, I'll have chicken and dumplings when she comes.
Yum, yum.
And we'll all have chicken and dumplings when she comes.
Yum, yum.
Yeah, we'll all have chicken and dumplings. We'll all have chicken and dumplings. We'll all have chicken and dumplings when she comes. 'Cause she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around that mountain, coming around the mountain, coming around that mountain when she comes. In fact, I got this verse from a lady in Kansas many years ago. Actually, not too far from the Little House on the Prairie. Sure, you talking about that. Let's see. She'll be wearing red pajamas when she comes. She'll be wearing red pajamas when she comes. She'll be wearing red pajamas, wearing red pajamas, wearing red pajamas when she comes. 'Cause she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around that mountain, coming around the mountain, coming around that mountain when she comes. And Lady in Janesville gave me this one about 7, 8 years ago. She'll be reeling and rocking when she comes. She'll be reeling and rocking when she comes. She'll be reeling and rocking. She'll be pulling up her stocking. She'll be reeling and rocking when she comes. 'Cause she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. Come on, y'all. She'll be coming around that mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain. Coming around that mountain when she comes. Keep going now. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around that mountain, coming around the mountain, coming around that mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain, coming around the mountain, coming around that mountain when she comes. Yeah. Thank you. There's one campfire song I hadn't done before. I probably knew the first verse of it since I was like 4, and I'll bet you the same for all of you. But it's a song I finally looked up, started doing this year. And it was written by Dr. Brewster M. Higley in 1872. And it's my contention. Oh, I had a theory, I should say. I had a theory that when you sing this song, your blood pressure goes down. Okay? And so I was playing at a nursing home in Lodi last week, and I did this song. And one of the women who worked there, she said, well, let's try it. So she put on a blood pressure cuff. This is true, it's absolutely true. And she took her blood pressure, and we sang the song, and she took her blood pressure again, and the systolic was down 20 points. I'm not saying we have to do it here, but if you have a cuff with you, give it a try. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the sky's not cloudy all day. Home on the range, where the deer and the antelope lay, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day, where the air is so pure and the zephyr so free, and the breeze is so balmy and light. I would not exchange my home on the range for all the cities with lights burning bright. Home on the range, where the deer and the antelope lay, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. How often at night, when the heavens so bright, from light from the glittering stars, I stood there amazed and asked as I gazed if the glory exceeds that of ours. Home on the range, where the deer and the antelope lay, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Now I love these wildflowers in this dear land of ours, and the curlew I love to hear cry. I love the white rocks and the antelope flocks that feed on the mountain slopes high. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope lay, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Oh, give me a land where the bright diamond sand looks leisurely down in the stream, where the graceful white swan goes gliding along like a maid in a heavenly dream. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope lay, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. No, I would not exchange my home on the range, where the deer and the antelope lay, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope lay, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. One more time, what do you say? Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope lay, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. And the skies are not cloudy all day. And the skies are not cloudy all day. Thank you. Oh, along as we're on that theme, there's one song, I only dig this song out in around Halloween, but it's a good enough song. I should do it all year round. But it's another cowboy tune that's a little spooky. There we go. That's a scary chord. Maybe. That old cowboy went riding on a dark and windy day. Upon a ridge he rested as he went along his way. And all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw, plowing through the ragged sky and up a cloudy draw. Their brands are still on fire and their hoofs are made of steel. Their horns are black and shiny and their hot breath he could feel. A bolt of fear went through him as they wandered through the sky. He saw the riders coming hard and he heard their mournful cry. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo. Those riders in the sky, their faces gone, their eyes are blurred, their shirts all soaked with sweat. He's riding hard to catch that herd, but he ain't caught him yet. 'Cause he got a ride forever in that range up in the sky. Horses snorting fire as they ride on, hear their cry. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo. Those riders in the sky. As the riders looked him by, he heard one call his name. If you want to save your soul from hell, riding on our range, then cowboy, change your ways, or with us you will ride, trying to catch the devil's herd across the endless sky. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo. Those riders in the sky. Yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo. Those riders in the sky. Well, most of the time when I'm here, I do Irish tunes, but it's seasonal. It's fall, and this is a bit of a story. I don't know if anybody remembers a country album that was out many, many years ago by a fellow named Red Sovine, and he did some stuff about truckers mostly. And this is one, as I only pull it out once a year, it's really kind of hard to keep it in my brain, but it's a great ballad. He's also the guy who did a song called Teddy Bear. Oh, well, they're 10-4 there, Teddy Bear. Back in the CB radio days. So this is one of his songs. Also, Tom Waits has an incredible version of this too. Now I was out on the West Coast trying to make a buck. Things didn't work out and I was down on my luck. So I got tired of roaming and bumming around. So I started thumbing my way back east, back to my hometown. Made a lot of miles the first couple of days, and I figured I'd be home in a week if my luck held out this way, but on the third night, I got stranded. On a cold and lonely crossroads with the rain pouring down, and I was hungry, freezing, and done caught a chill. That's when the lights of a semi topped the hill. Lord, I was so glad to hear those air brakes turn on, and I climbed into that cab where I knew I'd be warm. At the wheel sat a big man. I figure he went about 210. His stuck out his hand and he said with a grin, Big Joe's the name, and I told him mine. He said the name of my rig is Phantom 309. So I asked him why he called his rig such a name. He said, son, this Mac can put 'em all to shame. There ain't a driver or a rig running any line that's seen anything but taillights from Phantom 309. So we rode and talked the better of the night. And it was the lights of the truck stop that rolled into sight, and he said, sorry, son, it's as far as I go. Because, you know, I got to make a turn just up the road. And then he tossed me a dime. And we put her low, and he said, you know, have yourself a cup of old Big Joe. And Joe and his rig, they roared out in the night. And nothing flat, he was clean out of sight. So I went inside and I ordered me a cup. I told the waiter that Big Joe was setting me up, and he could have heard a pin drop. It got deathly quiet. The waiter's face turned kind of white, and I said, well, did I say something wrong? With a grin. He said, nah, this happens every now and then. Because you see, every driver here knows Big Joe. But son, let me tell you about what happened just about 10 years ago. At the crossroads tonight, where you flagged him down, there was a bus full of kids coming down. And they were right in the middle when Big Joe topped that hill. There could have been a slaughter, but Joe turned the wheel and he lost control and went into a skid. So he gave his life to save that bunch of kids. And there at the crossroads was the end of the line for Big Joe and Phantom 309. But it's funny, you know, every now and then, when the moon's cold in water, and they say, old Joe, stop and give you a ride. And just like you, there'll be some hitchhiker coming by. So here, son, get yourself another cup of coffee. It's on me, you see. I want you to hang on to that dime. See, I want you to hang on to that dime as kind of a souvenir. A souvenir of Big Joe. A souvenir of Big Joe and Phantom 309. Yeah, I do love that one. I definitely love that one. Well, I was telling Ann, one of the things I got to do this summer, which I haven't done in a while, is play some nautical music. And I went around the Great Lakes and played at some tall ship festivals. And that's my other life, is I'm usually a tall ship sailor during the summer. And I was one of the relief captains of the Dennis Sullivan in Milwaukee. And except Discovery World just sold the ship. So not sure what we're doing next year, but we'll see. So I like all kinds of nautical songs, and I got a couple I wanted to do here. First, this is kind of a historic one. Does anybody know the tune Barnacle Bill the Sailor? Okay, so you know there are versions of that song. If I ever did hear, you'd never see me again. Well, this one's a little bit different. This one goes back to January of 1942. And they took the song Barnacle Bill and they turned it into a recruiting song for World War II, especially for the Pacific Theater. And I had a thing for this because my dad and my uncle were both in the Pacific during World War II. My dad was a Army anti-aircraft gunner. And he said he went all the way from California to Japan and never saw any fighting at all. Now, my Uncle Willard, my mom's older brother, he was in the Marines. And he was in Saipan, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa. So his story was a little bit different. So I always do the song for them. And it has Barnacle Bill and the Fair Young Maiden. I'll be playing both parts today. So here I go to Tokyo, says Barnacle Bill the sailor, to beat that dirty so-and-so, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. They gave me leave to come ashore, to see the gal I had before, and here I am knocking at your door, cries Barnacle Bill the sailor. Who's that knocking at my door? Who's that knocking at my door? Who's that knocking at my door? Cried the fair young maiden. Now maybe she's waiting for another bloke, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. I catch him again and his neck'll get broke, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. Come open the door, it's only me. Who do you think it was gonna be? Why, you're as nervous as a dog with a flea, cries Barnacle Bill the sailor. Oh, Bill, I'm glad to see you. Oh, Bill, I'm glad to see you. Oh, Bill, I've never been so happy to see anybody, cries a fair young maiden. Now you only see me for a minute or so, says Barnacle Bill the sailor, as I'm on my way to Tokyo, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. I'll hear who come blow me down, I'll stick their noses in the ground, and turn their bloomin' damper down, cries Barnacle Bill the sailor. Now, Bill, you shouldn't go. Oh, Bill, you should not go, 'cause you're getting kind of old, you know, cries the fair young maiden. Now the older I get, the tougher I am, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. I'll use my head as a battering ram, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. I guess I never told you before, it was me that won the Civil War. Well, I was a kid at 104, cries Barnacle Bill the sailor. Now, Bill, you got a gun. Oh, Bill, you got a gun. Well, Bill, I don't even think you own a gun, cries the fair young maiden. No guns or tanks or planes or trucks, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. All I need is my old brass knucks, cried Barnacle Bill the sailor. I'll go through Japan with a fine-tooth comb. I'll pump my fist off Hitler's dome and puncture that windbag that lives in Rome, cries Barnacle Bill the sailor. Now, Bill, when you coming home? Oh, Bill, when you'll be home? Oh, Bill, when you coming home? Cries the fair young maiden. Now, it won't be long before I'm back, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. All it takes is one good swack, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. If you're saying goodbye, you better begin, 'cause I gotta hurry and get to Berlin, or the Russians will take it before I get in, cries Barnacle Bill the sailor. So here I go to Tokyo, says Barnacle Bill the sailor, to beat that dirty so-and-so, says Barnacle Bill the sailor. They gave me leave to come ashore, to see the gal I had before, and here I am knocking at your door, cries Barnacle Bill the sailor. Thank you. So I've been involved in sailing and sailing music for 30-some years, and I'll be doing something you can attend without leaving your home. I'm going to be at the Chicago Maritime Museum, and we're doing a fundraising festival on October 27th, and I'm going to be there with WTT PBS station, Jay Shefsky, a couple of authors and historians, a whole bunch of sea shanty singers, and it's going to be a blast. You just go to ChicagoMaritimeMuseum.org. And see, I grew up in Chicago, and I didn't know at the time that Chicago was, back in the 1800s, the fourth busiest sailing port in the world, in the Western world. Only London, Hamburg, and New York had more arrivals than departures. So Chicago was the O'Hare Airport of the sailing ship. And these days, I've been to Chicago recently, and there have been tall ship festivals, and a million people would come down, literally. But back in the day, back in the 1880s, there would be 200 or 300 tall ships in Chicago every year. So it was a completely different time. So I started looking into the history of that, and I realized that when it got to be November and December, some of the the deckhands back in those days might find themselves 50, 60 feet up in the rig with a bucket of tar and a brush, sloshing the tar down the standing rigging, the rigging that holds the masts up. And maybe your mates would be down below putting the sails and the rigging away and stuff like that, and building a winter house over the whole deck. Well, in the 1980s, I started sailing on tall ships. I found myself up in the rig with a bucket of tar thinking things had not changed in 100 years. And I ended up with this song. Cold winds blow across the harbor, cold winds on the inland sea, same winds that call our fathers, cold winds are calling me. Ice forms on deck and whispers, light a fire and stay below, shut up tight, the winds all whisper, pass the bottle, it's time to go. Cold winds blow across the harbor, cold winds on the inland sea, same winds that call our fathers, cold winds are calling me. Rise up and down the hatches, mind your hands, they're cracked and sore, check the lines on your way inland, it's time to get a job ashore. Cold winds blow across the harbor, cold winds on the inland sea, same winds that called our fathers, cold winds are calling me. Sun and spray and full moon autumns, wood and water, frost and stone, early snows mean early winters, taste each season as it goes. Cold winds blow across the harbor, cold winds on the inland sea, same winds that called our fathers, cold winds are calling me. Thank you. Yeah.
What's the name of that instrument that you're?
Oh, that instrument is called a concertina.
A concertina. And so the nautical music, which has that distinct sound, was that because they are so portable and they can carry them with them?
Yeah, they had that though. There's a great book about music at sea by a guy named David Proctor, and they brought all kinds of instruments depending on where you were. If you were on a military ship back in the 1800s, you probably had a full band, a full marine band, and the ships tried to outdo each other. So, yeah, there was all kinds of instruments, even organs and grand pianos and things if you had a lot of money. It's rare, but yeah, but those were around mid-1800s, those were developed, though their ancestors would go way, way back before that too. So there's all kinds of things. And so if you do see music, it's expected you have a squeeze box of some kind, for sure. But I want to sing a sea shanty with you. One more seagoing tune. And this one usually wouldn't use any instruments at all because your hands are doing stuff, like hauling on lines. And this is my favorite shanty because I've done this on board ships with different crew, and especially with students. And I worked on different ships that do environmental education and sail training. And I did the numbers a couple years ago, and I've done this song on one particular program up in Michigan with 7,000 students over 20 years or so. And it's a real easy one. It comes from the island, so I think we can warm up after that last tune. And I'll teach it to you really quick. It's called John Kanaka. Kanaka just means person in Hawaiian and a couple other Pacific languages. So to get the song down, all you have to do is repeat after me. Kanaka.
Kanaka.
John Kanaka.
John Kanaka.
John Kanaka Naka.
John Kanaka.
John Kanaka Naka Tulaye.
John Kanaka.
It's even easier to sing than it is to say. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Give it a try. Go. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. And then if you're working, then you go. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Well, we'll skip that part. Okay. Just sing a lot louder. Here we go. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Here we go. I thought I heard the old man say, John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Today is a holiday. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. And it's Tulaye, oh Tulaye. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Good. We're outward bound at the break of day. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. We're outward bound for Frisco Bay. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Tulaye, oh Tulaye. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. We're outward bound around the horn. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. You wish that you had never been born. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. And it's Tulaye, oh Tulaye. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Now don't you hear the captain say, John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. You can go ashore, spend your pay. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. And it's Tulaye, oh Tulaye. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Now don't you hear the mister say, John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Just one more pull, let me lay. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. And it's Tulaye, oh Tulaye. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Tulaye, oh Tulaye. John Kanaka Naka Tulaye. Nice organ. I love it. So when I've been here in the past, it's usually again around St. Patrick's Day, and I love those tunes. I spent about 7 years doing Irish pubs around the country, and a little bit in Ireland and Scotland, and once in Norway. That's a different story. And there's plenty of great drinking songs like the Moonshiner and Nancy Whiskey and all those, and Whiskey or the Devil. But now that I'm older, I got to admit, my favorite drinking song isn't any of those. And I know it's a little early, even for Wisconsin, but I wanted to do this drinking song because it's for two reasons. It comes from the islands, and in this song, nothing stupid happens. Nobody drinks too much. Nobody gets into a fight. Nobody loses their money. Nobody wakes up in the gutter next to a pig. The only thing that happens in this song is you have a glass of wine and you fall in love, which could be dangerous too, but not stupid. Also, my mom was a big Don Ho fan, so I kind of grew up with this record in the house. I guess, and reason 3, it's a great sing-along. Tiny bubbles in the wine make me happy, make me feel fine. Tiny bubbles here's to the golden moon, and here's to the silver sea, and mostly, here's a toast to you and me. Tiny bubbles in the wine, make me happy, make me feel fine. Tiny bubbles make me warm all over, with a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. So you can sing along, or you can do what these ladies are doing, echoing. Tiny bubbles in the wine, make me happy, make me feel fine. Tiny bubbles make me warm all over. All together again. With a feeling like I'm gonna love you till the end of time. So here's to the golden moon, and here's to the silver sea, and mostly, here's a toast to you and me. Tiny bubbles in the wine, make me happy, make me feel fine. Tiny bubbles make me warm all over, with a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. One more time for you. Tiny bubbles in the wine, make me happy, make me feel fine. Tiny bubbles make me warm all over, with a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. It's a great feeling too. With a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. With a feeling that I'm gonna love you till the end of time. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted to do this tune too. It's another song I've only been doing for the last year or so, because I did something I wasn't thinking I would do, is I bought a new bicycle. And I got an e-bike, and I love it. Because normally, you know, if I have a choice of driving or riding the bike, I'll try to do the bike, but if I'm really pushed for time, I don't have as many excuses, because I can just flick a switch and I'm going 18 miles an hour up a hill, and I can get there without being all sweated up and stuff. So I'm doing a lot more riding on the e-bike than before. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to learn a bicycle song. And this is definitely one of the few I could find. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer. I'm half crazy over the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, 'cause I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. So like I usually do, I looked up this song and I found that it was written in 1893 by a fellow named Harry Dacres. He's an Englishman who was on his way to America, and when he got to America, he got to New York I think it was, he had a bicycle with him, and they charged him an import tax. And a friend of his said, "Boy, Harry, good thing you didn't have one of them bicycles built for two, otherwise they'd charge you double the tax." And Harry sat down and said, "Bicycle built for two." That's kind of a nice rhythm. Bicycle built. And that's why we have the song 110 years later, because of an import tax. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy over the love of matter, regardless of the weather. And you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. I'm half crazy over the love of you. Now we'll leave when the ball is over. We'll get married in the clover, and you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. So that same year, people started writing to the publisher and asking, what the heck did Daisy say in response? So Harry Diker sat down that very same year and wrote this verse. Michael, Michael, here is my answer true. You're half crazy if you think that will do. If you can't afford a carriage, there won't be any marriage. 'Cause I'll be switched if I get hitched on a bicycle built for two. On a bicycle built for two. On a bicycle built for two. Oh man. Well, this is a tune that I always do for, let's just say, more mature audiences. And I also do this, I've done this song a lot for children too, and it definitely works for everybody. And I don't really know what it is about this tune that does that, but it's an incredible tune. And actually, it's my Sweetheart and Me. It's one of our songs too. The thing about this song is that you get people singing in harmony out of nowhere. I know it's a bit of a challenge, but hear me out here. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. See, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Now the other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and I cried. But you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Now I'll always love you and make you happy, and no one else can come between. Now you love me for another, and you scattered all of my dreams. But you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Well, this is a verse I've been doing for about 8 years, and I got it from my buddy Skip Jones, who's a wonderful folk singer, who got it from some 4th grade kids he was working at a school a long time ago. In fact, he said it was so long ago, his kids probably got 4th grade kids of their own by now. But this is their verse. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamt I kissed you really hard. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. 'cause I was kissing my Saint Bernard. But you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Take it, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Oh, please don't take my sunshine away. Oh, please don't take my sunshine away. Thank you. Now this is a tune, a Halloween tune again. I guess you could use that song for a lullaby. There's all kinds of wonderful lullabies. This is the worst lullaby ever written. Intentionally, though, by a fellow named Daniel Glasser. And I learned it from a musician down in Indiana named Michael Longcore. And you remember the times when you were really, really little, or your kids were really little, and you or they were absolutely sure there was a monster under the bed? Or that pile of clothes over there is like, not that same thing. Well, that's where this song comes from. Again, the worst lullaby ever. Just for Halloween. Close your eyes and sleep. There are demons in your dreams. Go to sleep, my darling. There's a demon underneath your bed. Demons in your bed want to eat you up. Stay in your bed, 'cause there are landmines on the floor. And the demons underneath your bed want to eat you up. You used to have a sister. She wouldn't go to sleep, and the demons underneath her bed ate her up. Sugar and spice and all things nice. Why do you think we say that? So the demons underneath your bed will eat you up. Do not call for your mother. Who do you think let the demons in? The demons underneath your bed who will eat you up. My father sang this song to me, but he tripped and fell on a landmine. And the demons underneath my bed ate him up. Close your eyes and sleep. That's not really a blanket. And the demons underneath your bed will eat you up. Good night. Thank you. Daniel Longdor, I love that song. That's one I don't do for St. Patrick's Day, by the way. Or at weddings. But speaking of weddings, this one is definitely a song I learned, or first heard when I was about 4 or 5, when my parents would take me to weddings. And back then they had wedding bands and combos and stuff, and not disc jockeys. And if you heard this song played, you knew it was probably the last dance of the night. We're pretty darn close to it. So I'm ending with this one. For a while, I want to thank Ann and everybody here for having me back. And thank you. It's always a lot of fun. And the song goes back to 1933, I found out. It goes, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene, good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Now last Saturday night I got married. Me and my wife settled down. Now me and my wife have parted. I guess you take another stroll around town. Here we go. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene, good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Now sometimes I live in the country, sometimes I live in town. Sometimes I take a great notion just to jump in the river and drown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. There's a verse I got from an old fiddle player friend of mine. Sometimes Irene sleeps in pajamas. Sometimes she sleeps in a gown. But when they're both in the laundry, Irene is the talk of the town. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Stop your rambling. Stop your gambling. Stop staying out late at night. Go home to wife and family. Stay there on the fireside line. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. So I was doing this song about 3 years ago in Wanakee, and a lady came up to me afterwards and she said, you know, my mom's name was Irene. And when I was a little girl, about 80 years ago or so, she said my dad would come home from work every day around the same time. And he knew my mom would probably be in the kitchen. So he'd sneak in the kitchen door, go up to wherever she was and grab her around the waist, twirl her around, look her in the eye, and sing this song to her as he waltzed her through the house, singing, Irene, good night. Irene, good night. And he never missed a day. Good night, Irene, good night.